Hey everyone, welcome back to the Team Empire podcast. I'm your host Shannon. I have another episode for you today with my main man Frank. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk to you about Infinite Aesthetics. It's our sponsor of the pod. You know the new Apex singlets that have been coming out. We've got another 2 colors dropping, and I'm not even going to tell you when. It's going to be soon. But use the code Empire to save to support the pod. And thank you for sponsoring us, Infinite. We appreciate you. The website for that is infiniteaesthetics.co.nz. Anyway, the episode today is more of like a catch-up episode. I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of different things that you guys have been asking about this year, what's happening, what he's doing this year, what the team's looking like, all of the good stuff. But I've got my main man, Frank, Carroll, and my coach on the pod. How are you, Frank?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. This is my first episode with you as my coach.
Yeah, okay.
Cool, man. I love it. Everything's going to be the same. There's no different dynamic over here. But it's cool. I'm so excited to be part of Worthy of Victory. And it's just recently happened over the past week, which is really exciting. But are you excited to have me on your team?
Yeah,
Goes both ways?
we're stoked to have you here.
Yes, I'm so excited. It's going to be fun. And obviously, as everyone knows, I've been watching all the girls and the guys from With Your Victory, so now I get to be part of the team. So I'm super excited for that. But first, what have you been up to, Frank? How was your summer? Did you have some downtime? Did you get a day off? Like, how was your summer and Christmas?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's been nice.
Nice.
I say, you try and create the life that you don't need to take a holiday from, and so that's more or less the summary of what the summer's been. Haven't taken any amount of time off or anything, but I have taken days here and there, and have had parts of some days off, and just made sure that I've kept up with the flow. But yeah, still did check-ins and stuff for people right on Christmas Day even, and yeah, it's sweet. We just keep rolling. It's a part of what I do every day, and wouldn't feel right without it. But yeah, definitely have those days where family and stuff have got to be the priority, and you've got to be fully present. And so you have the line, you step over it, and you just let clients be. yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. You did get to the beach though a couple of times, didn't you? Got out and about.
yeah. We had one week where we were just full on, just beach surfing hardcore. yeah,
Love
yeah,
it.
it was
Finally
good.
get it tan, eh? It's been like the whitest summer last summer. So I'm like, are we getting a little brown this year?
Yeah. My complexion's looking pretty good. Probably can't tell from here, but yeah,
We
yeah,
believe you. It's no
yeah,
stage tan, but it's getting there.
yeah. It's not quite that dark, but it's dark for me.
Absolutely. Okay, how is 2024 shaping up for you? Are you already busy? Because we're obviously at the end of January now. We'll talk about our calendar for this year, IFBB and all that stuff soon. But are you already busy for the year? Have you got a lot of people ready to go for the season? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so there's yeah, it is. It's sort of like just hasn't stopped. Yeah, a
Mm,
lot of the people that competed last year, they've stayed in it. Yeah, which is awesome. They've still enjoyed their time off and some download time as well, but ultimately they've still been walking forward in it. And so them picking up this year has just been smooth. They've all made good progress. They've held progress, and now they're just stepping back into it. Have had a good lot of new signups as well. And the cool thing with the majority of these signups is, potentially they'll be good first time athletes this year as well, but are totally aware of and open to the fact that like it might be next year. But
mhm.
they see what it's all about, and they're keen to get into it. And some of the man since sign up, so since just before Christmas they joined, and they've been in it, and the distance they've come even just since then, like yeah, they probably will compete and be good first timers. So it's looking good.
Love it. I think it's really cool. And that actually happens a little bit more than it's probably talked about when people miss the season. Like they're just not quite there. And it's like, well, do you put yourself in early and not be there, or do you want to wait another year? What is your advice on that? Does the time go pretty quick? Like is it worth struggling out for a whole another extra year?
The time goes pretty quick, um, which is why we talk about like making the most of your off season, and cross that out, call it improvement season, because you ain't really, like, if you want to do it and do it well, there's no time to be off.
Mhm.
Um, you'll still have, the better you do your improvement season, the better able you are to have those days off, and it won't matter.
Mhm.
And you can actually relax and enjoy them all, because you know that you're back on the grind 99.9% of the rest of the time. Um, but yeah, so I know like people to say prove me wrong. Um, or you don't know how responsive someone's going to be all the time. So like literally you don't know your genetic potential until you start doing, start walking into your potential and doing some stuff. And man, some people will just respond, and you can go, yeah, I'd like to normally have 12 months with somebody, and you're going after 4 weeks, oh, you're definitely going to be ready. So yeah. And then it just comes down to, as we get closer to that day, if you're happy with the package, like you'll look good. But if you feel like you want to bring better, then it can be, hey, let's pivot, move the goalpost out. Not because you couldn't, because you can, but just because you want a better result. So that's sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And you should be in it for the prep as well as the show, right? It's not all about the show. It's like you've got to enjoy the whole offset, the improvement season, when you're on everything, prep, everything. You should try to enjoy it, even though it's a struggle. It's supposed to be a fun, challenging struggle that we love for some reason.
Yeah.
What do you reckon you're normally busier at the time when the calendar drops, or like at the new year? When do you find people are like really keen to get started? Does the calendar motivate them, or is it like, nah, I want to get through Christmas, start the new year?
It is a mixture. A lot of people this year were like, nah, even though the calendar hadn't come out, they were just like want to get in. And I think with that also comes with the understanding of like they potentially might miss the opportunity to work with me. So I'm lucky that people want to work with me. But then also, yeah, a lot of them are just clicking onto. Doesn't matter if they don't know when the date is or not. Like they just know they got to get started on getting ready. And yeah, in terms of athletes, it's sort of pretty much like that. Most people have seen the calendar, or most people that were motivated by the calendar have gone maybe next year, but the calendar came out and they were like, oh, don't know if it'll work. And so those are some of the clients where I'm like, hey, yeah, cool, like let's shoot for next year, but the process is ultimately still going to be the same. So let's walk this out, let's get you going, and it might be feasible that you can. So, yeah, but I've got also like, lifestyle clients are still the bigger part of my business, and that this never slows down. It's always, yeah.
So like a balance, keeps you even, keeps you well spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the calendar? Because obviously it's different than what it has been the last few years, which it changed anyway, didn't it, at the beginning, and then it's been staying that way for a few years, and now it's like sort of back to one season, I suppose. But a lot of people were expecting those earlier shows in the year, and so they kind of got a little bit let down about that. But what do you think about the calendar? Do you think it's better this way? It's all a bit bunched into like August, September, October, sort of that sort of vibe. Do you enjoy it this way? What do you reckon about it?
I think both ways work, and I think like I can understand why the federation chose to do it this way this year, because those earlier shows just didn't have the numbers. We don't have the athletes that are going to fill those shows out. So, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And if you're an athlete, it doesn't matter. You just make it work. And so I think it's quite good. It's an 8-week period of time, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So then your first show through are all going to be viable shows to then step into nationals on. And yeah, what was interesting was I thought there were going to be less shows, but there's still quite a few. And yeah, it's just some new shows and stuff through there as well. So a couple of natural shows, as well as I think I'm right there, as well as the natural nationals. Yeah, so I mean that'll be all interesting. I hope that all these people that talk smack about, yeah,
Be natty, get on the natty stage.
yeah.
But it's fun. I think it's cool to have both, and we've got that naturals pro card as well, which is kind of cool. I was talking to Shay on the last episode about that. And finally having that back. It's been like 4 or 5 years by the time we get to this nationals that we have had one. So that's really exciting as well. Do you think it's a good piece of advice for people to do multiple regionals because they're so spaced to get like so close together? Do you think it's kind of smart to do? Like at first thought I was like, oh, we'll jump in a few, do you reckon it's a good thing?
It has obviously its advantages and its disadvantages. Like you've got to be able to go the distance.
Yeah.
And my preferred is that you do it well and then do better for nationals. But yeah, depending on each person, like you might just want that extra stage experience, and so you might go all in and be ready for that regional, but there ain't nothing like that first show, and so do that one, get rid of the nerves and then jump at the next one and just feel a bit better about being on stage, which then gets you into nationals feeling better as well. But yeah, the hard thing there is really just like timing the conditioning, timing the peaks, making sure that like it's not cheap. It's so you've got to be able to go the distance financially, mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then logistically working it out as well. Like you just don't want to be adding in any unnecessary stresses, and so yeah, I think pick one and then nationals.
Pick one in nationals, yeah. And then maybe if you're feeling amazing at the time, you can always jump it. Like there's always time to rego, right? Up until the show. So if you're feeling great, why not? Coach says yes. But yeah, pick your shows and then really stick to them. I feel like that's really good. So even for the mindset, just to know what you're doing. What are your plans for this year, Frank? Do you have your shows picked out, or are you going to leave us in the lurch? What do you reckon?
Yeah, now with so providing all goes to plan, I'd be looking to do either the Auckland or the Waikato's regional, and then through to nationals. Yeah, we'll see how things progress.
See how it goes. Are you like, do you try to pick shows that most of your clients aren't doing, or do you just bite the bullet and just do what you guys all want to do because you know how to execute the day kind of thing?
Yeah, last year, last year I come out of retirement, I wasn't planning on competing. I wasn't planning on doing nationals initially. And so I did that first show because I knew no one else was doing it. And then I thought, because I didn't know how it was going to go for me, I hadn't competed for quite a few years. So I just wanted to, have that day to myself and not be responsible for anyone else either. But ultimately, I felt sweet. And I was still doing check-ins for everyone else up to, to my show as well, who, they were still competing, and I was able to handle that all good. So I wasn't worried about doing nationals and having the team there as well. That was all sweet. And then, I even got sick, and I hadn't ruled out not competing until that last week. So, yeah, ultimately, I think if I could choose, it would be better to not be coaching people at the same time as competing myself. But that's also then I feel like one, I can handle it. And two, I've got a coach now, so that I have just got less to worry about myself as well, and I can just see him out and don't have to put myself in my space of having to think about me too. And all I got to do is do what he says, and then what else I got to do is just make sure I keep showing up as a coach. And I've just been in this for long enough now that I know that that's not an issue for me. Yeah.
Definitely. Is it taking a little bit of a load off for you having a coach now? Just like a little bit of mental, has it been nice?
Yeah, it has actually. Yeah, I don't think it would maybe feel so much so, but it definitely has. Just taking that, not that it's mindless, but this is my workout, and I just got to go 100 on that, and I don't have to think about the next thing. It's it's there. Yeah, so, no, it is quite cool. I think there's still an element of questioning oneself and all that sort of stuff, but it's being able to just be following the plan.
Yeah, all you gotta do is execute now, and then you're done. It makes it so much easier. Is it also like a benefit for doing shows with your clients that you can be backstage with them? Because in New Zealand, I know I'll be in Aussie, you can go backstage, or you can buy a pass or something as a coach, but here you can't. You're either competing and you're backstage, or you're not, and you're not backstage. So there must be a benefit to be able to see your girls and guys while you're backstage too, even though you're competing. That is a benefit to you.
Yeah, I that was something that I was looking forward to at nationals, was that everyone had their plan, everyone knew what they were going to do. I'd got everyone ready, so they're prepared, but I was excited to be able to be backstage and just be able to make on the day, in the minute changes, and just help them feel there. Pump them up a little bit differently because I'm there with them now. To make it a bit more, but it didn't happen like that, and it was still good. So
it was fine. It was perfectly fine. Front row. Still sick, really sick, not doing well. A lot of this, a lot of he was there, and you turned up and you were front row. You were right there. You did it. You did really well. You saved your voice for your team too, so that was good. There's only so much that was there.
Yeah,
you did awesome, man. It was good. Was it a hard day though? I think we talked about it, but you got through it okay, eh?
Yeah, it was funny. Doing the work part was sweet. Knowing what each person needed, that was all good. That was sweet. I guess by this point it's back of the hand stuff, and the clients, so you just what to do for them. But it was the more just existing.
And for that whole day, which was like 12 hours of watching bodybuilding, and like we love it. So it was like great, but it's just like, yeah, I was feeling for you, but you did really well. Is your team looking like they're going to be spread out competing throughout most of the shows this year? Or is there like going to be a lot, like we had TOC was like a worthier victory comp last year. Do you reckon they're going to be spread or pretty well congested into a couple shows?
Just because of the nature of the shows being closer together now and just in one chunk, there are people that are like, oh, yeah, no, maybe they'll just do that show because it's in their region and then they'll do nationals. Because it's all close enough that it's all much of a muchness anyway. So yeah, there are some that will do a couple and nationals. But yeah, it is fairly spread. But yeah, most of most of the Auckland girls will do mostly the Auckland show or Waikato's, and then there's some that want to do, natural shows. So it just sort of, yeah.
It works, yeah. It's good for everyone in that sense, hey, just being nice and close, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch too. What are your thoughts on like the ladies missing out again for a pro card this year, and the bodybuilding guys? That's like it would be great if it was all the guys divisions. It'd be cool, but it's just a classic in the men's physique again. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's cool? It's another opportunity for the guys to come back again, or are you like, we need a ladies pro card too?
Oh, for the Olympia qualifier, you mean?
Yeah, for the pro show. Yeah, sorry for those muscles.
Yeah, same again. Hey, it's it would be awesome to see it, and I guess it just comes down to like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Like who's actually gonna frickin' stand up and do it, and the pro bikini girls had the discussion brought to them of like there needs to be a X amount of number of girls for it to be viable. And I don't know where they got to with that. This may be still an opportunity that it does happen. I don't know. But men's physique, classic physique, there's more numbers, open to be able to do it. It's also, we've seen guys come overseas. So, and I don't know what the ability or capacity of bikini girls coming from overseas to fill our shows up would go like. And so, you're going to have people be able to do those classes. It's easier to get them over here. And so you can understand why it's more feasible. But yeah, it would be cool to see some of our open bodybuilders get a crack at being open bodybuilders again, and here at home.
Yeah.
I always tell my athletes that I feel like it's rite of passage. Like if you turn pro here, you should do your first pro show here. And it's tricky if the show doesn't exist for you to do.
It doesn't happen. Maybe now it's 10 on the list. Maybe that's another good addition. Yeah, maybe they might think about it. But there is a couple of things that go into it that people probably don't know, is that Mo does talk to the pros and does try to rustle up who's keen to compete in pro show. Like he does try to get numbers. He doesn't just go, oh, we'll put a pro show up and see who comes. Like he does actually converse with a lot of the pros. I think you can back me on that, Frank. Obviously, Kate, and a lot of the pros, and he does actually try to get a gauge on what's actually going to happen. Do you reckon that's true? He does do that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He goes through and tries to get some numbers up, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But it'd be interesting to see what the Olympia invite will be like this year. Do you reckon we'll get all of our pros together for classic and men's physique? A few of them. Do you reckon that they'll jump in?
I think they should all. I know I've spoken to my guys, and that's what will happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope so. It's one of those things like, oh man, people's lives can just change on a dime, and there's people that might be intending to do it, and something might happen in a few months, and really like their priorities just shift. So that's a hard thing. That's what happened to some people last year. Just situations change and changes plans, hey, and I mean, there's also people that showed up to the show last minute, done short preps to fill spaces because they were needed, and still did well. So, yeah.
I hope it's motivated the guys, if anything, like I'm pretty sure it would. Like the guys that did compete for New Zealand, like Sip and even like Aaron, all of the boys that were up there, they're only going to, and Ben, like they're only going to want to come back and do better. Mo like racks them all up after, like you need this, you need that, we want to see more, or we want this, and so I feel like it's only more motivating for this year. I think it would be just really cool to see all of them up there. Nader, like all of them, man, it'd be really cool to do, hey.
the classic show will definitely be chocked. I think that a few of those men's physique guys are making that transition up to classic, and yeah,
True.
so
We'll see.
yeah.
It's so exciting. I'm so excited. And that's the other thing as well about the calendar coming out. It's not that's the only shows that are going to be. They can always add pro shows last minute, and they can do it not last minute, but like into the season they can drop a pro show out. So you just never know what we're going to get. It could be anything at this point. So we'll just have to see how this season rides out. Speaking of pros, how's Kate doing? And like we know that she's going to try and compete this year because she told us on the pod. And hopefully soon. She's already let it onto her Instagram that she's looking at the calendar. You guys are looking at the calendar planning shows. How's she going? Is she like pumped for the season? Do you think she'll do a couple of shows this year? What do you think?
She's gonna be busy. We've got 4 or 5 shows lined up for her. Yeah. So and they're happening fairly soon. So yeah.
It's cool. I think she said she'll let us know a little bit closer to the time. There's no pressure on her at all. We just all get really excited to follow her and how well she did in her last show. It's only going to be even better. Are you guys doing too much to her physique, or are you just kind of keeping it how good it already is? She didn't get a lot of feedback from the judges to change anything, so you just kind of like ticking through?
Yeah, there wasn't. I mean, the feedback we got from those judges, and then we literally just got feedback today from Sandy, who was the head Olympia judge, and yeah, the feedback that she had for Kate was like she has enough development, she has enough size, and overall everything was good. And so there was just it was more down to just like just more stage stuff, so some slight changes to posing. And she said, you can't always tell from the photos, but potentially a touch leaner, which does match up to what the judges shared with us at Hawaii as well, was just a touch more definition, not so much leaner, but just a little bit more definition, just to get it showing that little bit more. And when they're saying this to us, they're like, I can just a small amount, not too much. So
yeah.
So
How exciting. It'd be cool to get feedback from Sandy directly now. And like Kate's worked her way like you guys as a team are working her up to the top, and like she's fucking almost there, like so close, Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. We keep our hats on, but all the like everything we've heard back is they all want to see her at the top because of what she brought. So yeah, with humility, we're stoked and we're excited, and we'll grab it by the horns,
100%. You guys are so humble. I fucking love it. But I can already see it. I can already see her on Olympia stage, like within 3 years. I can see it happening. It's gonna be so fucking good. But anyway, we'll stay tuned on the Kate sets. We all love her. What are your goals for the year in terms of like, I don't know, just competing, business? Like, what do you want to achieve this year?
That's a funny one, especially now at this point, it's man, like everything in my life is pretty good, and like I haven't shared a lot of the other stuff that I've had to deal with, but that's all just personal stuff that I never asked for, but had the joy of having to sort out with the likes of my dad and stuff like that. That's off my plate this year, so I've got more time and stuff, more energy to put into other things. But yeah, my thing is like just to keep growing, and I sort of don't really have any set goals because I feel like I'd actually just almost get in my own way, and I want to be able to be open to like any new possibilities that might get presented. But yeah, for me it's just sort of like just keep growing, just keep doing more, and just keep doing it better. Just keep leveling up and leveling up the people that come through for me as well. Competing is definitely like that's probably my only like personal goal, because I'm happy with just like how everything else is tracking. I just am one of those. I don't chill. I just will keep going. So that's the only real tangible thing for me to shoot for, and we'll see how it goes. For me, it's I want to turn pro, and so I'm not going to also just I want to know that I'm there with it. So
I love it.
We'll just see how it unfolds, and being in this, like being able to help other people win, helps me with the like although like I'm chill and I keep my head on and I don't freaking like get too hyped up or rowdy, but I'm a love to win person, man. I fucking like, yeah, internally I'm burning up all the time. Like, I'm there with it. Freaking love to win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so much I hate to lose, but I love to win, man. I'm competitive as, and so yeah, there's a part that like I channel that through to the athletes as well, and um, I mean results show that. Like yeah,
Sure.
there,
Do you think there
there
might be
is
another? I know it's hard to say, but do you think there might be another chance for a Worthy of Victory Pro card this year? Do you reckon there might be another one in the works?
there's at least one.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe two, maybe three. Who knows?
There's at least one. Yeah, man. There's shit. The field's open, eh? Like there's people that are just progressing so quick now, and not just my own clients, but like there are athletes out there that are like like they're getting at it. So yeah,
A lot of people are excited. Well, not excited. Well, kind of excited that Rochelle's now out of the way for bikini. Like, sweet, she's done. Fuck her. She's in the pro pool now. But that doesn't make it easy for bikini. Like, we don't know
no,
who's back this year. Like, Lou Mullen might be back. Jamie Bloomfield's going to bring it. Like after coming back this last season, she's going to fucking own it next. Like this year, if she comes back, there's a lot of people that might come back, and a lot of new people too. So, do you think bikini's going to just continue to be as competitive as it was, even though I mean, Rochelle wasn't the only person. It was great, but it was like she's just been gunning for so long. Now she's got it. Do you
yeah,
think it's still just going to be as competitive, even more so, maybe?
yeah. It's not ever going to go the other way.
Nah.
It'll just keep getting more competitive. Yeah, yeah. Whoever gets, because there's a couple opportunities this year. One like whoever gets either of those is you won't be able to argue it. Like
It's going to be fun to
yeah,
watch.
yeah,
Yeah, it's going
yeah,
to be. And what about wellness? Do you reckon wellness is going to keep beefing up this year? Like, I mean, it's just it keeps getting. We get like a few more each year, but do you think it's going to be even bigger this year? Do you have a couple of wellness girls or anything like that on your team for this
yeah.
year?
I think there's 4 or 5 now on my team doing wellness this year. So, and there's more inquiries for it too. So, just yeah, the traction for that is it's definitely growing that I can see, and I know that there are other wellness athletes out there that are getting going with it as well and locking in dates to compete too. So, yeah,
It's fun to watch wellness like growing and getting more and more defined into its category, and it's like actually starting to look like wellness,
yeah,
right? It's cool.
yeah,
And I think you and I'm pretty sure Jordan have got like the most of the wellness like bunch in your teams, which is really cool. And it's good you guys are fucking pushing them hard and making them like fit that wellness criteria, because it's not easy to fit. Like it's a whole
yeah,
different shit than we used to. But
yeah.
yeah, it's really, really exciting. I'm excited for that. And what shows do you think you might go watch this year? If you're going to compete in Auckland and Nationals, maybe will you watch most of the rest of them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
not.
would say they're only the only one that there may be a couple that may be tricky to get to uh, without sharing too much. You should be in the clear though. All Kate's shows will be done prior to all our shows here starting,
Yeah.
and so then it would be just towards the end of the season, like Olympia falls before our nationals.
Yeah.
Um, and we're planning to be away for that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Love that. That's what I was just going to ask you. I was like, if will you get an Olympia invite? Is it this year? Is that what it is? Have you have you guys even thought about that as a possibility of happening? And like, cool, we'll just block off that time just as a
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, you do. Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
oh, cool. I love that. You've got to make it, well, you've got to accept, like plan for everything, right? The best
yeah.
outcome, worst outcome, all of it. And obviously we'll be watching that, and oh my God, if Kate's up there, I'll just cry. But it'll be amazing. And it's really cool that you guys are going to get all those shows done sort of before our season starts to start even spread your work out a little bit as well. But that's the
Yeah.
big sort of bunch of their shows in America, isn't it? It's sort of in that middle part of the year, and then they trickle through to Olympia, right?
Oh man, there's so many,
Oh, many.
so
Yeah.
many. Yeah, we sort of we had a look and we looked at what was if we're going to go over there, we wanted to spend a chunk of time there and do a few shows in a row to make the time over there feasible and viable, and rather than going back and forths because it just doesn't make any sense. And so when we got to sit down and see it all and see where all the shows were, and we seen that a cluster that were all relatively close, then the time frame for that was bang on. Like we get to sort her out, and then we can come back and we can, hook back into our girls, get all our shows done, and then it's nationals and Olympia. So the whole year runs sweet. Yeah.
Pretty smoothly. We've got Arnold in a couple of 2 months time to kick us off with motivation. That always gets me going, the bikini girls going. But do you watch a bit of that? Do you and Kate watch a bit of the Arnolds, or nah, not really?
Yeah. I remember Kate had it on. I'm pretty sure she had it on last year and the year before. But definitely keep
watch that. It's just always like it's supposed to be second to Olympia, right? It's the two best in the world, is what they say, is Arnold and Olympia, even though Olympia trumps everything. But it's fun to watch, and there's a lot of the wellness girls in there too. Like Fran's going to be at Arnold, and like it's just going to be a fun show. So anyone else that's an enthusiast for bodybuilding, don't forget to watch that. It's in March. And it'll be really, really cool to watch. What do you reckon everyone should be doing now, Frank? So our season's coming up. Everyone should be fucking working hard right now, right? A lot of people are still getting back into it from Christmas that I see, and I'm like, what are we doing? We should be getting back into it. Everyone should be training hard. What do you think everyone should be doing? Just give us that, like the 3 specifics that maybe people should be doing right now to prepare for the season.
Yeah, you should just be getting the routine locked down. Like you should already be doing everything. You should be organized, and you should be working it out, and you should be working out the things that you need to sort out ahead of you. Just being prepared, and because if you're not, there are so many others who are, and you don't want to lack of organization and preparedness and willingness to be already beating you. So
that's good advice.
That's I literally just had this conversation with a client before, and it's the question was, when does prep start? And I'm like, it has already. You're not, nothing changes except potentially the amounts of food and cardio that you do, which you should already be, if you're following your plan, tracking and measuring and checking in and doing all those things anyway. And so your cardio or your food might change week to week anyway. So technically in the prep, nothing changes. Prep short for preparation, right? And so that doesn't change in improvement season versus competition season. Like it's all the same. So I don't know if you haven't flicked the mental switch, don't wait till 12 weeks out. You should flick that now, and the harder you can do it now, or the better you can do it hard now, the easier, less hard it will be later.
Oh, true. You just get it down now. It's so much easier during like prep or your last few weeks, before you're going into show, because that's the hardest bit, right? But I love that bit that you said about, like, if you're not doing it, there's going to be someone else who is, and that's gonna fuck some people off, but it should fuel you. If anything, it should just be like, oh man, I'm going to go to the gym because the other girl's going to be going way harder already, so it should kind of fuel you. And you don't want to lose or not place higher because you're lazy at the start of the year. That's the worst. That would fuck with me so bad.
Yeah, there's so much that, like, if you're not on it now, you don't know right now if you should be on more or less food. You don't know where you are at right now is actually where you need to be to get the most out of you later. So, like, that's why it's important to be on and be organized now.
So that's what I always say it on this pod, but Kate said it, and I always repeat it, but it's a 365-day a year sport, and I love that because you've got to be all in, or you just won't get there anymore. It's not a fun sport, and it maybe used to be like we could just jump in for a try, but now it's like it's so competitive, you just have to go all in. Like there's just not really other option, and it's hard for some people to do that, I guess. But
you won't enjoy it. Like if you're doing it for experience, you're just not gonna enjoy it. Like you're lying if you try to say that you do when you get on stage and you're around people that are just blowing you out of the water. Like you're not gonna enjoy it. Yes, the moment you step backstage and you see how ready everyone else is, and that like now you're so far the odd one out, and like, man, I got total respect for the people that come from a different place, and it is like for them to just even get there was huge. So it's not to take that away from them and that experience away from them, but it's the people that just don't give it the respect that it deserves and think that they'll just be able to do it and get recognized for it. And then, they're the people that ultimately play a part in like painting this in a bad light. So
it's true. That's so true. It's a sport, and people in IFBB aren't here to fuck around. Like they want to go, like a lot of them just want to go pro, like really want to do well. Like a lot of people are there to win. Like no one's really there see how it go. Like everyone has goals of different kinds, but everyone's there to be competitive. So
Yeah.
you don't want to embarrass yourself, feel bad about yourself, or like have, self-doubt, like none of that. You want to compete and to go and win and have a good time and like, see where you land and really put the work in. So
that's it. It's not to deter anyone from being a first timer.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Far out, like you can step on stage and be a first timer and be your best, like, and it'll look like that, and you won't be washed out by people that are just amazing.
Yeah.
Like you'll see that you're ready. You'll see that your package was good. But there's a difference between the people that I'm just gonna do a first timer show and
there's other comps you can do for that stuff, and I totally back you on that. I did that. I did the fitness model show in 2018 because I wasn't ready to give it the respect it deserves in this federation. So I didn't do it because I wasn't at that. There's always options, but IFBB is really competitive. It's hard. It's a challenge. So don't jump in unless you're really like, to give it everything and get really like solid with it, because I feel like it's a lot more than people expect, I think, sometimes, first time.
It is, yeah. It's the type of competitiveness that, the challenge that pulls you up too, though.
Yeah.
Like, so don't be scared that it's more of a challenge and that it's harder and that the competition is, good. Like, don't let that deter you, because, man, like, look at, like, the the family of it all is like every person that jumps into it, most people inside of this are like, get into it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just devote it. Just get in there and start. If you haven't started already for the year, start now, today, yesterday, and practice your posing, people, because we want to see that fucking like on point this year. It was really good this past year too, but we could all do it. All of us could. I could. Everyone could. So practice.
Again, it's just, you're just gonna feel better about what you do. Like,
100%. And if you're not, like, you're gonna feel better if your posing's good.
You'll enjoy it way more. Like, even if you don't place, you're not gonna be then put off. Like, you're gonna still enjoy it because you knew it was the best you could do, and then it's like, all right, now I've done this, I come this far, now how much further can I go? So that's when it's that's the whole, I don't know, that's why I love it.
Yeah, same. I love it, man. And you boys are great with your, like, the classic physique. I think it's obviously my favorite division. I'm so biased, and the bodybuilding. I just love the routines. So keep practicing those routines, guys, because they're fucking sick. You bring it, and it's going to be cool to see the pros bring theirs again this year, because they're always just like another level, right? It's just fucking amazing to watch. I don't know when tickets are on sale, but they will be obviously coming out soon. If you haven't registered for IFBB but you want to compete this year, you have to register to IFBB to become an athlete, and then you can register for the shows. So I highly suggest just doing that now, just to spread the costs throughout the year. Pay for your registration, and then you're already locked in. It'll fucking motivate you to hurry up. Like, you've already paid to like be an athlete this year. So it's just a cool way to do it. So jump on the IFBB website for everyone here, if you're wanting to do that. And then also Mo gets an idea of how many competitors there are kind of just across the board, and it just helps with things as well. So just maybe having a little look at that, and I'll update you guys on when the show tickets are available on the next episode. But Frank, are we going to be doing our reviews this year for the podcast? I keep getting asked by everyone, so I have to confirm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's cool. It's fun to do, right? It's cool to like just appreciate what's happened.
Yeah.
We
love just driving this whole thing.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Being it's fun to be a fan and competitor. Yeah. Everyone's. Awesome, Frank. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was good just to chat with you. Obviously, there's just going to be a big year. It's going to be really fun. We're going to do a lot of reviews, but it was also just good to get inside your head and see what you're up to this year as well with yourself and competing. So thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck, everyone. It's going to be an awesome year. And I'll see you all in the next episode. See you, everyone. Bye.
Ciao.